God's will for your life. I titled it that because, you know what I mean? So people know. But I call him Yah. Favorite thing I like to call him is the Most High, because he is God's will for your life. I mean, just right out the gate, as I was even starting this video, I'm thinking, you know, it's kind of a, I don't know, oxymoron, I guess is the right term. Please correct me. I know you're gonna anyways. If you're wanting to do Yah's will, meaning so you're wanting to be a subject in his court, you're wanting to be his property, you will become his wife. I mean, if you don't know what I'm talking about, you know, go find out. It's not about it's not your life anyways. You know, it's not your life. You've given it to him. You're submitting yourself unto Yah. You know what I mean? I'm sure most of you do. You're getting like, oh yeah, right? So, but I'll just use those terms, you know. What's his will for your life? For one, to surrender it over to him so he can do something with it. And he will. He will. And if you love Yah, you'll love what he does, because it only will glorify him, and it'll only draw men unto him. Because you gotta lift his name up. He says, well, you must lift it up. You know, draw all men. I mean, that's what it's about. He says, he who wins souls is wise. You know, so, well, anyways, I would digress to the death, if I could use that term, and be holy all day long. So there seems like there's always so much to say. I guess it's all about what we're ready to hear, because there's a lot to be said, but what are we all ready to hear? But anyways, back on point. We know, we'll go back and forth, because you know, I don't know why. Reason. He says, I'm not going to give you scripture quotes, meaning I'm not going to say the address. You know, Micah 6:8. You know, I have told you, oh man, what is good, and what does Yahweh require of you, but to do justice, to love kindness, love mercy, and walk in humility with the Most High. That's what he requires. You can't just cherry pick and stuff like that. Okay, well, what else did he say? Right? What's the conclusion of the whole matter? Fear Yah and obey his commandments. Right? Also, what does he say? That you bear much fruit. He says, what is the will of Yah, right? Even your sanctification. What does he also say? He wants your obedience before sacrifice. Now I found myself, I was listening to to Elder Rufus yesterday on a video, and it really hit me. It hit me. The Spirit was talking to me that he required more obedience out of me and less sacrifice right now, because I was always sacrificing for Israel. That was my thing. I'm doing this, and I'm trying to do this for Israel. I'm trying to do this for Israel, and I was full of sacrifice and sacrifice of praise, but I was lacking in some of my obedience to the Most High. It don't have to be no giant thing, just some little thing. But those little things, most of the time, are ginormous. So, you know, but it was about, let me get off point. I might get off point. He wants you to be full of compassion. He wants you to set yourself apart in such a way that men will see you in the conduct of your life, and they'll glorify Yah, because that's the fruit of your obedience. I mean, it's all just intertwined. I was talking with Brother Ray, about different words, and he said about work and labor. 6 days men shall labor and do all their work. Work is like a machine. It's like how you operate work, right? But labor is this physical thing that you do. Those who labor among you. See, these are the things that are Yah's will for your life, that He is willing and wants you to do. He wants you to be good to all men. He wants you to be upright. He wants you to be like Him, He says. He wants you to be holy, which means set apart, not, no, that's pious religious crap. He wants you to be real, and He wants you to be honest. He wants you to be trustworthy. He wants you to be faithful. He wants you to be obedient. And when you do all these things, you know what I mean? Obedience before sacrifice. It doesn't say obedience, no sacrifice. You understand? So obedience before. Get your obedience settled with Yah. Get that in line. Then sacrifice. I was trying to do them at the same time and a little backwards and messed up. I'll just say it. Not that I was just totally rebellious, but I had rebellion in me. And I hate it. Like I said, little things. But they're not little. Because those little things will jack you up. You know what I mean? But it's like I said, this isn't about me. But it was just on my spirit, and then I could hear another spirit tell me not to do this video. So like Pastor says, when he gets a thought, oh, well, don't say that, because they might. He's like, oh, hell no. Well, that's what I'm saying right now. So that, with that being said, because I was asked a question about, did I pray about what I'm doing right now? Did I ask the Father? Did I pray about it? About the direction of what I'm going to be doing? Because next week will be the Father's. I say, Yah willing, if He allows me to do this, next week will be the last week that I'll be driving the truck. I still have my CDL, and I will keep that, because that was a wise investment. Pastor's been saying, invest in yourself. I have a lot of skills, and I know a lot of things. Invest in yourself. That's a whole nother video I should do, because he's been saying it for a long time. I'll stop right there, because I'll digress and start talking about that. But obedience to Yah's word, and it's those 10 commandments. On the two hangs everything. Love Yah and love your brother. That's Yah's will, is to take care of the widow, to take care of the fatherless, to show compassion, to do unto others, your brothers, as you would have them do unto you. Now, it's not like, well, should I be a carpenter? Should I be, well, are you going to do everything as unto Yah? Yeah, you can do those things. That's great. I used to sell cars. It's almost impossible. Pastor would tell you, I used to sell cars. He sold cars. I made a shit ton of money. I made almost $12,000 in 14 days. My first 12 days. Getting it. You know what I mean? But as I worked and went on, I realized that I was a Christian. I couldn't do that with a good conscience. And I just couldn't sell cars. With what I know about selling cars and the ins and outs and all that stuff, it's got to do and the reality of it, and that's a whole other thing. But that is a perfect example. See, do everything you do as unto Yah. Now, see, working hardly. Now, I can't defraud people and con them into this, or tell them one thing when I know damn good and well the desk guy is getting a different rate for your loan, but he's getting kickbacks if they up the rate for you, so you may qualify for 2%, but then the bank and the desk guy or the dealership has it set up that they'll give you kickbacks on the percentage of the loan. If you up and come back and we'll say, hey, good news, we got you qualified at 6%, but you really were qualified at 1%. See, there's so many different things like that. It's ridiculous in that. So, I mean, that's wicked. You can't be like, I'm doing it as unto Yah. I'm like, no, not in that business you can. You can be in sales and do something else and have honor and integrity, but not working for a dealership. You sure as hell can. You can sell cars yourself if you went out and bought them. I mean, I could go out and buy a car for $1,500 and show you I paid $1,500 for it. I put this much into it, money-wise. This is how much I charge for your labor, and here's what I'm going to add on to as my profit. Here it is. There it is, clean on a platter. Instead of telling you I'm giving you invoice prices and it's below invoice, but I've got a $2,000, $3,000 pack in it that I'm not even disclosing to you that I'm making in profit, and the salesman don't even get a part of that either. Don't get me started on selling cars, because I went deep, man. I lived with some car guys, and anyways, that's like I said, I'll be digressing. So here it is what you can do an honest living, and can you have and maintain your integrity while you're doing it? I don't care if you go sell the heathen pork. That's irrelevant, because that's for them. Look in the Word. It's okay to do that. I'm not defrauding them. Not using that as like a staple, but those are the things you need to look at. I mean, are you keeping with the laws and commandments and statutes with what you're doing? I mean, you could be an airline pilot. You know, is that Yah's will for life? Well, His will is your sanctification. His will is for your obedience. His will is for you to walk as He walks. Your will is to be perfect as He is perfect. That's His will for your life, which is now His. So now He requires it. He demands that you do it. But in whatever you do it as unto Yah. I mean, I hope that helps out, because Christianity got us in this mindset, you know, you pray that it's Yah's will for your life. It's like, well, you know, His will for my life and the direction are two different things. Make sense? I would say for the most part, laboring with your hands and all that is much better than anything else. That doesn't mean if you're not laboring with your hands for your occupation. I mean, Paul was a tent maker. Hallelujah. Joseph was a carpenter, right? And Jesus was following in his footsteps. A carpenter, right? I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. He didn't come out and say, no, if you want to be holy and sanctified, you got to be a carpenter. But I would say, if you have the ability to be a carpenter, I would say do that. For one, because you learn how to build, and it's a good thing. And one of the things that Yah asks us to also do is, in our captivity, plant gardens, plant vineyard, eat of it, build homes, and occupy until it comes. Meaning just obey Him. That's Yah's will for your life, your obedience. Set yourself apart. Study to show yourself approved. Because the studying is going to bring you the knowledge that you need. You're not going to get the ruach from studying. But you're going to know what Yah wants. And you'll be able to fight the devil. And you'll be able to cast down an evil thought, because you'll know that ain't the mind of Yah, because I read it, because as he says in scripture, right? It's of him. You know, the volume of the book where it's written of me. I hope this made sense to somebody. I really do. If you find yourself in a position where you would have to compromise these things to do your occupation or what you want to do, meaning it brings you, it brings you pleasure. He wants us to be happy. It's his good pleasure to even give us the kingdom. It's your sanctification. It's setting yourself apart. It's being holy. It's coming out of her. First natural, then spiritual. Because, like Pastor says, I had to get the hell out of California. I'll talk to you about me. I had to get the hell out of California because I knew, and it was even spoken in my mind, that I couldn't serve Yah without being close to his people. And with how jacked up I was, not even knowing, and it took a lot longer than it should have for me to realize how jacked up I was. But I knew, that's another video altogether. But I knew I had to get closer to his people. And shit, with how long it's taken me, it probably would have never happened. Hallelujah. I bless Yah for his faithfulness, for his long suffering, for his patience, for his wisdom. I thank him so much for my pastor. I thank him for Pastor Dow. He's that buffer. You don't want Most High to come down and start talking to you personally, face to face, because we are. You hearing what I'm saying? Moses was a friend of Yah. David was a man after Yah's own heart. We're so far removed and wicked. You don't want Yah, because he would just destroy us like he was doing in the wilderness. People are murmuring and complaining, just burning them down to the ground. Righteous, fervent anger with wickedness and sin. So he gave her this buffer. Pastor Dow, Pastor Corey, our elders, our deacons, our heads of assemblies, our older people than us in the ministry who are walking with the Father. The hoary head, if they meet these conditions, because not everybody who's old and gray is wise. I can attest to that. Hallelujah. I do bless and I thank the Father for all this. I thank him for the trials, the tribulations, the sufferings. Because I learned obedience. If he learned obedience to the things he suffered, I sure as hell learned obedience to the things I suffered. And I continually do. And he keeps continually testing me and trying. I've been tested and tried a lot with some big stuff too. Not that I'm special, just me, I'm the biggest. No, I know y'all too, because there's nothing uncommon to man. My brethren in the world are suffering the same kinds of things, but it's for our perfection. It's just to burn that shit off of us. We get that like a gnarly steak has that char and it looks burnt to shit, but when you cut it open, inside, that inside is beautiful. It's beautiful and it's ready to eat. But it had to go through some fire and some intense heat that you would think was destroyed it, but it didn't destroy it. It refined it like gold, like silver. I'm so blessed to even to talk, to have to speak to anybody concerning the Most High. Hallelujah. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. I sure as hell ain't the end all know all, but I know what's true and I know what's right, and I'm doing my best and striving and moving forward to go on to perfection. I want to be ready for those places. been here a long time and seen other people go in communities before me. And the thoughts would come, well, shoot, what about, and it's, you cast that bullshit down, because I got to know, and I do know and realize I wasn't ready. Those people were ready. Those people were ready, because I could see the fruit. Do I have fruit? Sure, I have fruit. I need to increase that fruit. I need to squeeze hard and dig down so that I can bear much fruit, so people can eat off of it. People can benefit from it. That I would make my Father happy, my husband. Hallelujah. Man, I'll tell you. Each year has been better and greater. And I'll tell you what, the closer I get to y'all, the harder and more intense the trials get. Always tested, proven, and tried to see where I am. He knows where I am, and so I can see where I am. And so you can see where you are. I mean, that's just straight up. That's straight up. If you ain't striving, you better start. Because you better repent, because the kingdom of heaven is at hand right now. Right now. You're deciding where you're going to go. You're the one that's made the choice, because the Most High don't send nobody to hell. You do. And it's concerning yourself. So on that point, like I said, do whatever you do. Whatever you have a skill to do. Whatever the Father's blessed you to do. You do that as unto the Father. And if you can't be obedient to Father and do that, you know that ain't Yah's will. He ain't willing that you would do anything that would be in direct contradiction or would cause you to not do the other things He said. So, but if I'm wrong, I don't think I am, or I wouldn't have made this video. But if I'm wrong, I will gladly make another video, because I know my station. I say my station, I just mean I'm a steward of it, because I don't know shit. I'm a steward of things. Know it. When I say my truck, it surely isn't my truck. I'm a steward of it. So I know this channel is monitored by my pastors and the elders, heads of assembly, you righteous brethren. I will gladly make another video and totally renounce anything that I've said that doesn't line up with Yah's word. If I'm mistaken, and if I'm mistaken, I'm happy. I'm happy to, because I just want to be right, like I told the brother this morning. Because he asked me a question about some stuff, and I had to get on my knees, on my face, and ask Yah, am I? I had to make, because I want to be right. I'm tired of being wrong. I'm tired of that shit. I'm tired of that. So I just want to be right. So I love the judgment. A righteous man loves judgment. And I want to be righteous, and I strive to be righteous in a right standing relationship with my father and husband. So hallelujah. I hope I said something to stimulate thought. And like I said, so be it. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. I love y'all, Israel. And I would hope and pray that anybody else watching this, if you're a Christian out there and you think you're serving the Father, I'm going to tell you, you're in a religion that has deceived your heart and your mind. And if you can hear me say that, and you can go, really? And step back and go look for yourself. Go look for yourself. Please. Please do. Go look for yourself. Because you're going to find out. You're going to find out. That ain't Yah. That different Jesus, that ain't the real Jesus. Go to straightway.com. Pastor Dow. Type it in Google. And don't listen to anybody who talks smack about Pastor upright and righteous man, striving to be holy, the most kind-hearted, sensitive, strong man I have ever met, and the greatest example of the living Christ that I have ever seen in my entire life. And the only people that are close seconds and thirds to that are in this ministry. And our other pastors and elders. Elder Becker, Pastor Corey, Elder Rufus, Elder Donnie, Elder Mitchell. Bless the Most High. I hope this video isn't ridiculous long. I can't even see, but I guess if it needs to be said, it needs to be said. Hallelujah. God bless you all, Israel. Shabbat's almost here, that we can rest in the Most High.